previously on St. Elsewhere.
Well, you've just handed me the proposals this morning. You know the board doesn't meet till the first Tuesday of the month.
Call a special session.
It's not possible.
Don't give me that crap.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob. Heard you just bought a house in Cape Cod.
Just closed, Fiscus. And no, you can't use it.
So am I anything like the girl Stephen used to bring home?
You're the first one who's pregnant.
But we have the technology to help you along. In vitro fertilizations.
No test tube, baby.
Right here at number 2 there. Take your time now. What do we got here?
29-year-old male buried his face in the windshield.
All right, grab hold of the front there. Let's go.
Glasses, blood loss, head trauma, multiple lacerations, possible pelvic and spinal fractures with abdominal bleeding. Pulse 50, BP's 80/60.
Okay, put him in Trendelenburg. Alert OR, thoracic, and neuro. And let's start a peripheral IV D5WLR.
God, it's Stephen Craig, Mark's son.
Police already notified the family. A pregnant woman was riding shotgun. She ought to be here any minute.
Notify obstetric stats.
Crits, light, type, cross-match, 10 units, whole blood stat.
Right eyes, pupil is sluggish, pinpoint. Left one's totally blown.
Kid was talking a blue streak when we got to the accident. Now it looks like he'll end up a vegetable if he makes it.
Shut up.
BP's falling, 70/40.
Okay, it's absence of deep tendon reflexes.
He's in VTAC.
Could a crash cart, please?
We need an abdominal tray.
Over here.
Okay, let's get that IV started.
Get her hooked up to a fetal monitor.
Last outcome score is 142. Possible internal bleeding, lacerations, compound fracture of the right femur. BP's 90/60, pulse 120 and thready.
Pam? ABG, CBC, RH, Titan Cross, 6 units packed cells fat.
I'm having trouble finding fetal heart tones. Do you know how many weeks she is?
No idea.
Clear.
PO2 54, PCO2 60, pH 7.23, respiratory
understand.
aspect.
Okay, let's try it again. Clear.
Looks pretty bad. Shoot us off. Let's see if we can find any
All
pulse.
right, assistantly, let's start CPR.
No fetal pulse. We need to get an angiogram or she could lose her leg.
First things first, she's having contractions.
Just hold on, Stephen. We'll pull you through. Guys in plastics haven't licked. A couple of facelifts, a Tommy Tucker 2, and bang, you got a house on Cape Cod.
Place is incredible. It's just north of Highland Light on the dunes overlooking the beach. I can see all the way from Race Point to Wellfleet.
How many bedrooms?
3. Built in 1830 by some famous whaler.
Not the Bob Marley.
Man, salt air, ocean breezes, long walks on the beach.
Fishing for square grouper.
Whenever I want, I can get away from this hospital, the city.
All aboard.
I tell you, Fiscus, I'm tired of the women I meet in this town. All looking for long-term relationships, intellectual stimulation. From now on, it's beach blanket bimbo time. Going to the Cape, do it in the dunes.
Good, clean slap and tickle. When do we leave?
You're not my type.
Oh, what do you say? You got 3 bedrooms.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to use all 3. Why aren't you down in ER anyway?
Dinner break. Look, all I need is a floor to spread out my sleeping bag.
Look, Wayne, I've told you once, I'm gonna tell you again. You're not invited.
Well, you think it over and I'll get back to you, okay?
After Yvonne's legs in traction, move her to ICU and do an ultrasound. Call me if she starts having contractions again.
Shouldn't we keep going? It's too much damage. But he's Dr. Craig's son. It's over, Elliot.
I thought he was going to make it.
Where is he?
He's in there.
Oh, Stephen.
He's dead. What was the cause?
It appeared to be a cardiac arrest resulting from a severe head trauma. We never got him stabilized.
I'm sure you did your best. Have an autopsy done in the morning. I want to know the exact cause of death.
Mark, your daughter-in-law's comatose but stable. How far along is she?
Ellen? Ellen, how far along is Yvonne?
I think about 8 months.
Look, are you going to induce labor?
So long as both are stable, the best place for the baby is inside the mother.
What about Yvonne? What's the treatment?
I'm considering phenobarbital. It would diminish a brain's need for oxygen. It would reduce the swelling.
What are you waiting for?
The potential harm to the baby if it's near term.
This isn't Stephen. This isn't my son. It's not him, Mark. Mark, we have to go and find Stephen. If he's hurt, you'll be able to help him.
Valium, 10 milligrams. I am.
Helen, it's not him. You know Stephen, he's handsome. My son has gorgeous green eyes. And he has hair that keeps falling on his face. His father teases him all the time about getting a haircut. He left from our house tonight. He's on his way to Columbus. He's a resident at OSU.
Come on. Let's find some place where we can do.
Oh, Helen, he's my only child. He wouldn't leave me.
morning.
Who are you?
I'm Dr. Victor Ehrlich, your resident on call at this ungodly hour.
I wanted Dr. Turner.
Oh, you'd be lucky if you see her during morning rounds. What can I do?
Terry's had cramps all night.
Any bleeding?
No.
Artificial insemination. Okay, not to worry. Placement of any instrument, in this case the insemination catheter, through the cervix can cause an irritation of the uterus. The uterus reacts by contracting ipso facto the cramps.
Shouldn't you do some kind of an exam to make sure Terry's okay?
No, an internal would only increase the chances of infection. The cramping is normal, believe me, I know.
How much longer do I have to lie like this?
According to this chart, until you discharge tomorrow, just to be safe. See, in this position, the salmon don't have to swim upstream. What I mean is, Mr. Valaire's sperm has an optimal chance to impregnate. Somebody will check back on you later. Bye-bye.
Mr. Bill Baker, please see the cashier. Mr. Bill Baker, please see the
Thank you.
Morning, everybody.
Dr. Westfall. That was quite some talk you gave on community service. You know, my first instincts told me that you had some tropical fever that left you delirious. I mean, that's what most of the other residents thought. But you know something? You're right. We owe it to this community to give of ourselves and our time.
Glad to hear you say that.
Been away. You've learned a lot. I've been here, but I've learned a lot, too. I want you to think I'm the pig you've heard so much about. I'm already a good doctor. I just want to be a good human being.
Good morning, Elisa. I want you to send a funeral bouquet to the Craig's house. Mixed arrangement, I don't know. Mums, snapdragons, iris. Yeah, with deepest sympathy from your family at St. Alicia's. Yeah, sure, that's all right. Go that high. Thank you.
Oh, no. Dr. Craig's mother-in-law died?
His son.
Stephen, don't do this to me. I just talked to him yesterday upstairs in Dr. Craig's office. I congratulated him. I shook his hand. He was gonna have a kid.
Well, the real estate agent said I could pick up the house keys from you.
Old Reed Place, you say?
People I bought it from were named Pettick.
Yeah, just another name on the mailbox. I've seen quite a few. Been called the Reed Place, long as I remember. Named after Samus Reed, captain of the Arago. Whale out to New Bedford last century about. Old Captain Reed built it.
Yeah, I know all about the history.
Sure you heard it all? Here you go.
Sure it's the right key?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Why wouldn't I?
Thought I'd pick up a couple of haddock while I'm down here.
It's a cod.
Any reason the house is on the market so long?
No one bought it.
Sort of figured that. Any reason?
I don't believe the tale myself.
What do you mean?
Thought you knew all about the place. Yeah, it comes to 718. Let's call it 7.
What tale?
About the noises and all. I wouldn't give it a second thought. Here you go.
Trying to say the house is haunted?
I'm not saying 'tis. I'm not saying 'tain't. Story has it, Captain Reed come back from whaling round the Horn, found his wife hauling the select man's ashes. A man named, Snow, I believe. There was scuffle, left the captain cold as scrimshaw. Folks say he's still looking for revenge. I like to say, sounds far-fetched to me, but I never believed the story about the Chatham witch. Till I seen her. Don't overcook it. City folk at the Cape always overcook the cod.
Mark?
Morning.
I just had a dream.
What was it about?
That last night was all a dream. Is Stephen really dead?
I've made 2 lists of things that need our attention. Your list is over on the nightstand. Stephen's landlord has to be called. Then I went through his wallet and wrote down the numbers of his credit cards. They need to be canceled.
Well, that can wait, Mark.
No reason to let those things hang over our heads. Now, you don't have to worry about Stephen's bank account or notifying the director of medicine at OSU. I'll handle all of that. And the funeral arrangements.
Are you leaving?
I'm going to the hospital.
Mark, there are 2 other cardiac surgeons at St. Eligius.
Neither of whom I would trust winding my watch.
I want to talk about Stephen, please.
I can't. Look, I have to go. But I'll call you, I promise. I want you to get some rest. You'll be fine.
Sure I will. Go ahead.
What's a tern nesting area?
An ecological preserve for terns. Terns are birds. Birds build nests, and dark tourists trample all over them.
Sorry, just taking a walk.
That's what General Sherman said when he marched through Georgia.
Hey, take it easy. I'm new around here. I didn't know. Maybe you'd like to be my nature guide and show me where I can hike.
Why don't I just tell you where to go? Town's that way.
My house is this way. You know the old Reed place? I bought it.
Crap.
What, you gonna tell me that's a bird sanctuary too?
Worse, it's next door to mine.
Neighbors! Hey! Hey! Well, I'll have to come on over and borrow a couple of shivas off you sometime. I'm Bobby Caldwell.
I thought everyone was going to buy that haunted house land and leave me to myself.
Hey, where are you from?
Providence, originally.
Live here all year round?
When I'm not off Cape on business.
What do you do?
What are you, the IRS?
A surgeon in Boston.
When are you going back?
Hello, Mark. Surprised to see you here. Where are you going?
Basement.
I'm on my way to Stephen's autopsy. Well, why put yourself through that?
I want to make sure everything's handled properly.
Mark, I'm so sorry. How's Ellen?
Strong woman.
Any word from Yvonne's parents?
I haven't reached them. They live in a trailer park in Clinton, up around Syracuse.
Can I make a suggestion?
Never been able to stop you before.
I think it'd be a good idea for you to get away from here for a while.
And do what? Sit at home and listen to the clock tick on the wall?
No, Mark, it's just when this sort of thing happens to us.
I have responsibilities here. Mrs. Coslow's bypassed Mr. Rostovich's pacemaker. These people are sick. Should I tell them to wait till I'm through mourning?
No, we can handle your patients. You just take care of yourself.
I'm fine.
Mark, allow yourself to breathe.
Donald, please. Don't tell me how I should feel.
Liver appears normal in size and consistency. Help you?
Who are you? Where's Dr. Foy?
Got a hernia moving a stiff. I'm filling in. File number 4596437. One of yours?
Yeah. One of mine.
Mm-hmm.
How was his heart?
Oh, nice as you'd ever want to see. Kid was in great shape. Must have been a jogger. Ventricles, valve rings, all cleaner than spit. There's a brain damage that shut it down. The heart's right over there if you want to take a gander. Liver has a 10-centimeter fracture along the anterior superior surface of the right lobe.
You know, my son and I never spent time together. He and I never really connected. Last time we had civil words was when he was a little boy and I used to tuck him into bed at night.
Liver weighs, just a skosh over 1,400 grams.
He and I used to sit together in my rocker. Stephen would curl up in my lap and I'd read to him. Why, he was sharp. And once in a while, when I was tired, I'd try to skip a few pages. You know, turn 2 or 3 pages instead of 1. No, sir. Stephen caught me every time. He knew each book, cover to cover. His favorite was Dr. Seuss's Green Eggs and Ham.
Gallbladder looks to be of average shape and weight for his age, about 9 centimeters long. Spleen is of typical color and consistency. The fragmenting healer laceration. Stomach is grossly normal on palpation.
I must have read that book 100 times. Had it memorized. And we always read the last page together. Like it was our secret. I do so like green eggs and ham. Thank you. Thank you, Sam, I am.
Stomach also appears to contain 200 cc's of a recently ingested meal. Subject's kidneys are average size, 9 by 3 by 6 centimeters. Everything on the lab report seems pretty run-of-the-mill. Whoops. Serum specimen shows a significant amount of cocaine. Barbiturates, too. Mixing an upper and a downer.
What?
User. This kid was running on high octane.
What are you in for?
Gonna have a baby.
Oh, me too. Of course, that's obvious. How long you been pregnant?
About 24 hours.
Oh, that's pretty soon for there to be a problem. But then that's being pregnant, one damn thing after another.
I was artificially inseminated yesterday.
Oh, heavy on the blink.
No, it was me.
I'd have taken that one and run with it. All the sex and none of the backfire.
You don't like being pregnant?
Remember the worst hangover you ever had? That's being pregnant. Morning sickness. They had to call it old age sickness. Swollen ankles, hemorrhoids, varicose veins like the map of Minnesota. For starters. Got a job?
Yeah, I'm an architect. I restore historical buildings.
Bye-bye. You off to mother camp.
It can't be all that bad.
No? The fun starts when the water breaks in an expensive restaurant, and then you get to go through the pain of childbirth, which is going to give you a whole new perspective on screaming, and then you're a milk cow for about a year. I have been spit on, leaked on, pooped on, sucked on, and if I were you, I would skip the honor. Sit up and drain while you're ahead of the game.
How many kids have you had?
One.
Let me explain. Look, I have to get out of Boston, and I harbored no intention of barging in on you. Came down here looking for a cozy little motel, but you know, the crowds and all, there were no vacancies. Just one night on your couch, I promise.
Boy, am I glad to see you.
You are?
Yeah, come on in. You can have your own room and everything.
I can?
Sure.
I got a little confused in the dark, and I went to the wrong place.
What, next door? The witch in the gingerbread house?
Well, I sure wouldn't mind following her crumb trail.
She plays on the all-girls team.
Powder Puff League, huh?
It's a shame.
Moby Dick, skimmed the classic comic myself. Loved it. It's a great place. To tell you the truth, it kind of gives me the creeps. Well, even so, let's put this down, okay? Yeah, he wanted another.
How long has the baby been in distress?
2 minutes.
Let me see the strip. Late deceleration. Fetal heart rate's dropped down to 80 with contractions 3 minutes apart.
Should we arrest labor?
I'm gonna deliver. Call upstairs. Tell them they're ready in the OR for a C-section and alert in ICU. Stat.
The baby's not full term.
There's uteroplacental insufficiency. The child stands a better chance now in our hands. Disconnect her. Let's get her out of here.
The anesthesia could lower Yvonne's blood pressure and cause further brain damage.
Jack, we don't have a lot of options.
You might lose her.
Oh, we might lose them both. Nature's calling the shots. Mother's ready to deliver. Baby's viable and in trouble. I'll take my cues from them. Let's go. Let's go. How's Yvonne doing?
Blood pressure steady, 110/70, pulse 100.
Jack, what's the baby up to?
Decelerating, 92.
Normally, I'd make a fan and steel incision so the mother could go back to wearing bikini suction. But we don't have time for vanity. I need better exposure.
Fetal heart rate is dropping.
Okay, here's the head. Jenny?
BP 112/72, pulse 90. Pupils are sluggish and unresponsive.
Jack, give Yvonne a hand with some fungal pressure. Not too much, you'll bruise the melon. Retract her. Give another squeeze, Jack. Here we go. Hello there. Clamp. 1 minute Apgars.
BP's falling, 88/50. Pitocin in and running.
Give me 10 units for direct intrauterine injection. I need to stimulate contractions, get the uterus back to normal size. 3 chromic sutures, and start another unit of packed cells. My one and only baby. Jack, talk to me. How's the baby?
Great.
All right, Yvonne. Let's get you stabilized.
Hi.
Hi there.
Mind if we join you?
You gonna have room for dessert, Elliot?
I'm still shook up over Steve and Craig's death. When I get upset, I eat a lot, okay?
Can you believe Craig's already back on the job?
I know, amazing.
Looks like you're putting on a few.
It's the shirt. Horizontal stripes. I weigh the same as I always did.
How much?
You want to change the subject? I'm stout, okay? Big deal. My mother says there's just more of me to love.
Nothing wrong with being roly-poly.
You think I'm a roly-poly?
So what? So am I.
Elliot, if you weigh 20% of your ideal weight, you could be risking your health. Hypertension, cardiovascular disease, diabetes. Obesity affects longevity.
Yeah, but being happy with the way you are also increases your lifespan, even if you are obese.
You think I'm obese?
I feel the same way as your mom.
That's different. I didn't want my mother to, desire me.
Look, I've read that Americans are gaining weight on the average. So we're both a little ahead, maybe.
I think Elliot's throwing off the curve.
Very funny.
We're not teasing you. We're just concerned.
Oh, come on, don't let him get to you. Share my brownie with me?
I'm not hungry anymore.
Nurse Barbara Krause, second floor nurses station. Nurse Barbara Krause,
one with Jefferson's and nickel, the ones with Roosevelt are dimes.
Right. You know, I buy a paper every day. It's almost an involuntary response, but now I find myself evaluating each purchase, equating it with what it might buy for a starving kid. You know, 25 cents, 7 meals.
I wish you'd talk to my kids. I spent $130 on groceries yesterday. This morning, Jimmy opened the refrigerator and complained there was nothing to eat.
Yeah, my mother always told us to clean our plates because people were starving in India.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. It's a little like telling someone to wear a coat to the beach because it's cold at the North Pole.
Yeah. You know, you can't tell your kids how lucky they are. They have to find that out for themselves.
Yeah. But I'd like them to hear about Ethiopia. Would you and Tommy come over for supper next week?
Oh, I love it. Great. Yeah, you know, now that Tommy's back home, I think it's important that he have the companionship of kids his own age, not just autistic ones.
Had any luck finding a housekeeper?
Started interviewing this week. In the meantime, my sister-in-law, Constance, is coming to live with us. I think I'm finally getting my life back in order.
Oh, good. Glad somebody is. Have you heard anything about services for Stephen Craig?
No, not yet.
I have 5 kids. I can't imagine what it would be like losing an only child.
I'll see you.
See you.
Roxanne? Virginia Morgan just told me about Yvonne's C-section. Why wasn't I called when you went into OR?
It was emergency surgery.
Don't you think I have a right to be at the birth of my only grandchild?
I should have had you, Paige, but the baby was in distress. My first concerns were with Yvonne and a quick delivery.
What's Yvonne's condition?
Stable, but still comatose. She's in post-op.
And the baby?
Full term, 2,400 grams.
That's a little small.
But strong and getting much better. 1 minute Apgar was 4, 10 minute came up to 8.
8, that's good.
Congratulations, Mark.
Roxanne, is it a girl or a boy?
You have a granddaughter.
Girl. Barbara.
Want to come up to the nursery for a visit?
No, not yet. I have to tell Ellen first.
See you later. Victor?
Elliot. How much you trying to lose?
Oh, 10, 60.
Your average leg.
Please, no more fat jokes.
Sorry.
I hate being like this, the butt of everybody's humor. You think it was fun growing up as a kid being called Axel Fat? Axel Fat. That's right. Go ahead, spread it around. Elliot Axel Fat.
I wouldn't do that.
Why not?
Because you're talking to a guy who understands the cruelty of the playground. I've been there, pal. Entire 5th grade used to call me albino, bunny eyes, the great white nerd. There were jokes about a problem I used to have with my speech.
Oh, you're talking about your lisp, huh?
Sibilant S's, thank you. Go ahead, talk away, though. I'm here.
I just want to lose weight, Victor. You're a surgeon. What about intestinal bypass?
You want to lose weight or kill yourself?
Sounds like a great idea. Eliminate most of the intestine and absorb less food.
Yeah, you wind up looking like a prisoner of Pol Pot. Severe diarrhea, vitamin deficiencies, electrolyte losses, chronic liver and kidney disease. Most doctors won't even do the operation.
What about gastric stapling?
No, it makes the stomach small, you get full faster, but it's still major surgery. Elliot, before we start talking about jaw wiring, amphetamines, smoking, electroshock, could I ask you a question?
What?
Have you ever considered a responsible diet and daily exercise?
Only as a last resort.
Yeah, do yourself a favor. Give it a go. Speaking of going, I've got to. Oh, by the way, you know, this steam room only takes off the water weight. You have one drink, you put it right back on again. Later, Pudge.
All of London really tears it. Returns my surgical instruments without the common decency of having them autoclaved. David Talley brought back my hedge clippers after a year in better condition. Look at this. Here's a $38 pair of medicine bombs shot to hell.
Mark, let's go see the baby.
I can't.
That's the second time you've said that to me today.
He was on drugs again, Ellen. There was one thing before when he was on his own, but for crying out loud, the man was married with a child on the way. I'll never forgive him.
The night of the accident, Yvonne told me that Stephen was clean, and I believe her.
I have the lab results in my desk drawer.
Well, if he was on drugs, it was just to protect himself against a barrage from his father.
Oh, sure. It's all my fault.
Stephen was always trying to get your attention, Mark. Winning swim meets, becoming an Eagle Scout, the debate team at Colgate. He did all that for you. But none of it was enough to get your approval, was it, Dr. Craig?
He knew I was proud of him the night before he left for OSU. We celebrated with champagne at Durgan Park.
Exactly. Until he entered medical school, you didn't show one damn bit of interest. But you just wore him down until he made the choice that you wanted him to make. And then you put so damn much pressure on him, it's no wonder he turned to drugs.
I don't buy that, Ellen. Stephen chose to throw his life away.
For 30 years, I have put up with your narrow-minded, self-centered myopia. You hurt people, Mark. You hurt me, and you hurt Stephen. There's a reason you live in a sterile and... The hell with it. I'm going to see my granddaughter.
That one? Too skinny. That one? Needs a bath. You're awfully particular for a guy on vacation. It's the way I am, Wayne. You know, if not just exactly right, I throw him back. Well, beats popping tetracycline. I just don't have that kind of restraint. I'm in love with the entire female gender. How about her? Artsy type. Besides, girls in black make me nervous. Always did go for the Warhol superstar look. Excuse me. Hi.
Hi.
You want to sit down?
Sure.
I'm Bobby Caldwell.
Nora McConnell.
All right.
Entitles you to a free game.
Yeah, free game of what?
Miniature golf. I managed the course at the Orleans Rotary.
Yeah, I played there once. I like the windmill the best.
It's one of our most popular holes.
Back already, Wayne? She looked better from the bleachers.
The loop-de-loop runs a close second popularity-wise. Well, except when it rains, because then the golf ball slips out.
Weather's been great since I got here.
Mackerel sky, mackerel sky. Not long wet, not long dry.
I think I'm gonna have another beer.
Live nearby?
Yeah. spot the old Reed place.
Is it still haunted?
Nah. Gotta come check it out for yourself.
Okay. I'll tell my friends I'm leaving.
Thought you were Mr. Picayune. I am. She's not exactly a heady conversationalist.
Okay.
Wayne, I'm gonna be riding with Nora. Why don't you gas the Porsche? Get some groceries at the superette. Miniature golf. A couple of putts.
Something that'll hold me over till dinner.
Marcy, we gotta talk.
Covered with chocolate and packed with peanuts.
I can't take it anymore.
Something with caramel.
Snickers.
That's it.
No, wait. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Turning food into an obsession.
Why are you so upset?
I can't resist the temptation to play this candy machine like it was the slots. But don't you see, I'm the loser every time. I hear it calling to me.
Like Circe to Odysseus.
Who?
Elliot, come sit down.
Marcy, I've got to start exercising regularly and start eating responsibly. I got to go on a diet or my weight's going to get me in the end.
Then I'll go on a diet too.
Well, why? I think you're perfect.
It's the nature of the psychosexual equality play. Balance in a couple's aesthetic qualities, you know?
So we'll do this together.
Trim up and slim down.
For 1 month?
Mm-hmm. Starting next week.
Hey, Bob, open up.
Fiscus, weren't you in a fraternity at Tulane?
Sammy,
What a necktie on a closed door mean?
the keg's empty?
The Duke meant do not disturb.
Will you let me in?
I'm busy with Nora.
It's getting a little chilly out.
Come back in a couple hours.
At least give me a sweater.
Mark, these were delivered to ER by mistake.
Give them to a patient. Or send them down to the chapel.
Yeah. The paramedics who brought Stephen in last night told me something. They said just before he went unconscious, he said, "Tell my dad, Sam, I am." I guess he was talking nonsense, but he was thinking about you.
I do so like green eggs and ham. Thank you. Thank you. Sam, I am.
Waiting to save another life?
I'm locked out. Bob's up there rolling back the frontiers of promiscuity.
What a narcissist.
You don't know him. He's a dedicated doctor. He left a lucrative private practice to work at a city hospital.
He lives for his reflection.
Maybe. But if I had the bone structure that he has, I'd spend half my day in front of a mirror.
Not my type.
So I hear. Mind if I ask what is your type?
I settle for somebody who cares about me as much as himself. who doesn't think of me as another notch on his handgun.
When Bob left me at the Lobster Tail, I started a few conversations. I wasn't trying to pick anyone up, but that's all people have in mind.
You struck out.
Well, as a matter of fact, a guy named Walter from Provincetown wanted to show me his lighthouse. Ever happen to enjoying someone's company, building a relationship?
The first date is 0 to 100. People get burned and there's nothing left. I'm still looking for the right guy, though.
Why are you hiding out here on the Cape?
Getting over a divorce. I'm glad I moved here. I love the Cape. The beach is different from one year to the next. The nor'easters, they roll through here, and the entire landscape changes every winter. Can't take anything for granted on the Cape, except the summer tourist traffic. Well, I guess I have enough wood for my fire. Do you have any plans for dinner?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was gonna wait for the tide to go out and then forage in the mud for clams.
You're coming to my house.
I don't want to be in trouble.
It'd be more trouble to have you arrested.
What for?
Clamming without a license. Come on, dinner.
Great, I've got the yoo-hoos and the cheese whiz.
What a grumpy little face. It's from her father's side.
She's beautiful, Mrs. Craig. I'll come back later.
It's a raper.